r/Askreddit by Reddit and chill. What's the dumbest thing your brain has done on autopilot? I drove nearly 2 hours to my dad's house instead of meeting them 2 hours in the other direction for a family wedding. Did you make it to the wedding? Got up in the morning, showered, shaved, dressed and headed off to work. Picking up a newspaper while walking to the subway. Read the paper on the train. Pleasantly surprised that I actually got a seat for the 45-minute trip. Got off at my stop and was mystified by the sparse rush hour crowds on the sidewalk. Looked carefully at the paper I'd just finished reading. It was Saturday. Once my BF called me. And I told him I would call later as I was about to go into class. And was running late. I even had my hand in the door handle. And he tells but it's Friday. You don't have classes on Friday. I drove 50 minutes to school for nothing. My previous smartphone could be woken up by tapping on the screen twice. I once had my phone and wallet next to each other on my desk while I was on the computer. I went to check if I had any notifications. I looked right at my wallet and tapped on it twice. Waited a second for the screen to turn on. Hung my head in shame for about 10 seconds after that. One time, in high school, I tried to screenshot a piece of paper. Apologized to a bottle of soap I knocked down. To be fair, soap's done a lot for you over your life. I microwaved a ready meal. Then chucked the ready meal in the bin and walked off with the packaging. But that's a wrap. I used to work as a short order cook in a deli. I would crack up to 20-30 eggs on the flat top hour a time. I would be cracking eggs at some points and crack the egg, split it open over the garbage can and throw the shell on the flat top. A similar thing happened to me at the restaurant I used to work at. We had to give a bowl of fruit to every person on the table when they arrived. So to make things simple I carried like 7-8 bowls in a tray. So one day I just started scooping fruit in a tray with no bowls. Got excited when an email popped up. But it was the one I just sent to myself. I do this with reminder texts to myself all the time. Was welding up a part in my shop and had a 2-foot bead to weld on one side. Flipped the part around on the table and started welding in the zoned out way a person does at the end of the day. Welded the part to my welding bench. Flipped my hood up and looked at it and was completely baffled at my stupidity. Angle grinder with cut-off disc time. Grabbed the milk from the fridge. Opened the cabinet to grab a glass. Put the milk in the cabinet. I got distracted for a second and forgot where I put it. I spent the next 20 minutes looking for the milk. All while my family was convinced I was playing some dumb prank on them by hiding the milk. When I got a car from the first time. Next day I drove to the grocery store. Did my shopping, took bus back home. Woke up in the morning, car is missing. Remembered that I left it at the store. I'm surprised that you didn't just completely forgot you had a car. Then just took the bus again the next morning. I thanked myself for opening the door for myself. As if someone else had opened the door for me. I've done this before. Went to court to dispute a traffic violation. Address the judge as Your Majesty. For some reason this really cracked me up. Sit at a stop sign. Waiting for it to turn green. Worse. I have stopped at a red light then started to go when it was my turn. Had a microwave burger. That goes in for 3 minutes. I put it on for 30 minutes. And proceeded to do other stuff. Whilst checking to see if the microwave was finished. I remember thinking it was taking a long time. But still I checked and waited for the 3 minutes to end. That burger was rock hard and devoid of any moisture. I had a sandwich instead. But it makes me smile to this day for some reason. Look at the bright side, you saved yourself from the abomination that is a microwave burger. I work at a thrift store. One of my jobs is pricing donations and taking them out to the sales floor. While pricing, I also act as a final quality control. And I'm free to throw out anything I don't think I'd in sellable condition. We have rags and a bottle of all-purpose cleaner for when we're pricing and such as well. One day, I was doing the dishes at home. I was washing a bunch of silverware. And got to this one knife that had a spot or something really stuck onto it. I scrubbed at it for a good minute or so before saying duck it. I've wasted enough time on this. And then I tossed off to my left, where my garbage can usually is at work. And then I remembered I wasn't at work. I can't just throw stuff away because it's too much trouble to clean. Where did the fork land? I was brushing my teeth and went to throw something away but ended up spitting all over the floor instead. One time when I was like 6 I decided it was a good idea to brush my teeth and pee at the same time. When it came time to wipe, I threw my toilet paper into the sink where my sister was brushing her teeth. And it landed on her toothbrush. One of those moments you just don't ever forget. Wanted to take a quick whiz before leaving the house. Next thing I know I'm showering. Again. Need to work on your aim. My wife and I used to alternate who picked up our daughter from school every week depending on who was on the early shift. Got home and my wife was already home. Our daughter used to play a game every afternoon after school where she would hide and whoever came home second would come in and loudly say where is she? And the other one would reply with she's not here. My wife or I would then have to go and look for her and find her. So I get home after my wife and walk in and say where is she? My wife replies with she's not here. I then start looking for her and my wife says no. She's really not here. You were supposed to get her today because I had an appointment after work and didn't pick her up. You were meant to get her. I'd driven home and forgotten to pick up my daughter from school. Lucky we lived close to the school so it wasn't a massive issue. This story is so much better because of your little where is she game. I woke up once and decided to make myself an omelette. Step 1. Pan spray on the burner. Step 1. Turn on burner. Step 2. Pan spray on burner. Step 3. Place pan on burner. I had a glass of water and a book. And I was walking into my room. I threw the water onto my bed. Why? That's a creative way to wet the bed. I'm currently taking ASL. I am hearing everyone in my family is hearing. I don't sign outside of class. This morning I signed don't at my alarm clock. That's usually a middle finger for me. But that just sounds hilarious. I've poured juice into my cereal bowl too many times. I've poured cereal into my juice glass way too much as well. I've looked for my glasses several times whilst wearing them. I'll touch where the glass would be to make sure I'm wearing them, which means poking my eyes if I'm not. I put my phone in the freezer rather than the tub of ice cream. Why would you put your phone in a tub of ice cream? Thanked an ATM for cash. Someone was behind me. You will be spared in the robot uprising. Too many times I have taken the electric toothbrush out of my mouth before turning it off. Just toothpaste and spit spraying all over my clothes, the mirror, and the sink. I brush my teeth twice a day. You'd think I'd have it down pat by now. My husband bought a new car but then had to go away for a couple weeks before it was ready. We were going to pick it up a few days after he returned. But I got the call saying it was ready a few days before he was due back. I decided I'd surprise him by getting it so it'd be there when he came home. I made the arrangements and drove the 4 hours to the dealership. Alone. Got there and realized I couldn't drive both my car and his new car home. I was on a call with someone while taking out to trash before heading to school. Reaching the dumpster, I take off my bag, threw it inside and then began walking to school with the trash bag. Instead, it was only when I wanted to grab my headphones from my bag that I realized what I just did. I once went to the bathroom to take a shit and ended up brushing my teeth. Priorities. Took a frying pan outside and placed it into the recycling bin. Then came inside and saw the actual recycling and was confused as to where the frying pan was. So where was the frying pan? Discovered myself walking into our second-story bedroom with a box of confectioner's sugar tucked under my arm. Kitchen is downstairs. I wasn't baking anything. The colony of ants living in your bedroom wall is starting to control your mind. Washed my face with my glasses on. I can't tell you how many times I've hopped into the shower and started cleaning up with my glasses on. Starting to type in a porn site when I was remotely presenting to my co-workers and opened the internet browser. Oh man. And I accidentally opened incognito mode beforehand and I clicked on my favorite cumshot compilation. So embarrassing. Wake up to drive to school in the middle of break. When I was a kid, I walked to school on a Saturday. Wasn't till I got to school that I realized my mom was apparently laughing so hard after she realized why I left so early in the morning. She was waiting by the door when I got home. I specifically remember her asking how was school today, and me storming back to my room like it was her fault that I was a dumbass. I walked into a wall and apologized to it. I've done that before, but my response was, "The duck you doing?" Like the wall had purposely put itself in the way. So about once a month or so I'll be getting up to speed on my way home and have to stop myself while reaching for the gear lever to shift into 6th gear. My car doesn't have a 6-speed. Hell, I've never driven a car with a 6-speed. I have no idea why I do this. I do this all the time. I'll be in 5th gear and reach to shift to 6th and I'm always like, wow, what an idiot. Thrown my socks in the toilet. Was about to brush my teeth when I stared at my toothbrush for a good 3 seconds before realizing I put hand soap on it. I once really scratched up my eye because I couldn't get my contact lens out no matter how hard I tried. It took me about 10 minutes of this to realize it was morning. In the morning you put the lenses in. You cannot take them out in the morning because you are not wearing them yet. A few minutes ago I texted help instead of I love you to my boyfriend because I was thinking about my finals tomorrow. Good luck with finals. Walked into a bathroom between classes at high school while an intense conversation was going on. We all started using the urinals while still engrossed in the discussion, so I did not notice that I was standing at a sink, not a urinal, and I was peeing. I cleaned the sink really well afterwards. At least. Get out box dinner. Throw away box. Put in the microwave. Get box out of trash reads. Throw away box. Set microwave on defrost for 90 seconds. Get out of microwave. Get box out of trash. Reads. Throw away box. Stir and put in the microwave for 30 seconds. Take out of microwave. Get box out of trash reads. Throw away box. Add toppings packet. We cook exactly the same way. Crazy. Put the sugar back in the fridge and the milk in a drawer for my morning coffee. I also walked against a street lamp full speed while watching on my phone. It even made a gong sound when hitting it. There were also a bunch of people waiting on the other side of the street. Well, I don't mind. Could be worse. How small is your milk and how deep is your drawer? Placed a dirty dish in the washing machine. Clothing. I've tried to wash clothes in my dishwasher. Ducking like and subscribe.